keeping an eye on what's important. This is the Stinchfield Report on News and Information 570 KLIF.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me over and over and over again tell you that our nation is going down the wrong path, that we are misguided in where we are headed. Paul Ryan's budget, his new budget, is just one example of how crazy America has gotten. Obamacare is another example. Later in the show, we're going to talk about how you need to have choices, that in a free market society, in a capitalistic society, choices are king. And when anyone starts to tell you how to live your life, that's when you know we are headed in the wrong direction. I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody can make a decision for my family and my 4-year-old son like I can. I certainly don't want a bureaucrat in Washington making those decisions for me. And I'm sure you don't either. But some do, because either they're incapable of making decisions, and those on the left think we have to force those kind of decisions down people's throats because they think they know best. I am here to tell you that you out there listening and me on this show know way better than any lawmaker in Washington and any bureaucrat in Washington and any school board member on your local school board. We know what's best for our families. So to hammer that point home, Mihai Nadin wrote a book called Are You Stupid? And I mean, what a great title. It sounds like it's a title of something I would come up with. Mihai, I want to invite you on the Stinchfield Report. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
So you're from Romania, but more importantly, you're a professor right here at UTD.
That's correct.
And so what brought you about to writing a book called Are You Stupid? And what's behind the title?
What brought me to this book is a sense of responsibility that I feel as a person who found in the United States his home. This is my home. I care for it. And at the moment when I take notice of the fact that my country that adopted me is facing something similar to the implosion of the Soviet Union, I thought that it is my civic responsibility to scream and say, hey, my fellow citizens, my fellow friends, you accepted me here, you embraced me, you were kind to me. It's time to wake up and take some action. So that's, in short, the explanation.
So here's my question to you. You were in Romania. Did you see, and this is why I think it's so important to have someone like you on this show, did you see any of the signs and experience what we're starting to experience here?
Yes, I did, and therefore one chapter in my book is dedicated to the similarities between what's happening today in the United States and what happened at that time in the Soviet Union and in the countries associated with the Soviet Union. And there are too many of those to give you just now a list. The chapter on the similarities is probably the biggest in the whole book, because if I dare to say that the United States on its current path might end up with an implosion like the Soviet Union, then I need to present also the arguments. And those arguments are many. Among those, I would like to mention only two or three. For instance, the unexplainable explosion of bureaucracy. We created a huge animal that controls our lives to the extent that I couldn't believe that it's going to happen in a free economy. It happened in the Soviet Union, it happened in Romania, where bureaucrats controlled our life. Now it starts happening more and more here.
And that's what is so scary to me. And you said it perfectly. Control your life. And I don't ever want to live in a society, I don't want to ever be under the pressure or the thumb of government to the point where they are controlling my every move. And that's what's happening here. And I imagine that was scary for you in Romania to see that transition.
Absolutely. And therefore, I'm reacting to this big surprise that I'm having, because I never thought that I will arrive in a country that we looked at as being an example of freedom, where people decide on their own in respect to their lives, to find out that this is less and less and less the case, that the government is engineering our lives, because that's what's happening. The newest things that are upsetting so many Americans are engineered by the government.
Can you give me an example of something you saw in Romania as they were making the push towards socialism and communism that you now see here in the United States?
You can look at education that is to a very, very large extent transformed into an ideological instrument instead of focusing on its main goal, which is the education, imparting knowledge. Medical care. We all had medical care. It was miserable. It was mediocre. If you wanted a doctor to pay attention to you, you better had to bring with you the little money that you had left at home. They decided what you are supposed to get as a medical care, when you are supposed to get it, and if they are supposed to get it. These are two examples. I can continue with examples that pertain to, the way you were allowed or how much electricity you were allowed to use. In the last years, they came up with numbers which is the number of calories that is best for you. So the government started deciding how much you should eat and what you should drink.
And folks, think about it. We are seeing that right now. Even if it's just Mayor Bloomberg in New York telling you can't drink diet soda, but we're seeing that all across the United States, even putting calories on fast food restaurant menus. In my opinion, that a business owner should have a choice whether he wants to put calories on a menu or not, just as the consumer has a choice. It says if it doesn't have calories on it, well, I'm not going to go there. And the free markets would ultimately balance that out rather than a government telling you have to do one thing or another. And so it's striking the similarities that you went through, and now seeing that play out here in the United States. Mihai Nadin, who's a professor at UTD, you have to be nervous watching what's going on now in America.
I am, and therefore I raise my voice, and therefore I am within the wonderful ideals of this republic of ours, exercising my responsibility as a citizen with the hope that more and more will do the same.
Well, I want to tell you, one, thank you for writing the book, Are You Stupid? And also, thank you for going into teaching. I mean, you're a professor at UTD. I'm sure UTD may have a few more conservative professors than other universities across the country, probably not many, but thank God there are at least some professors who are conservatives still teaching our young minds.
I'm glad this is the profession that I'm dedicated to, and guess what? If somebody is asking me, what is your biggest accomplishment in life, I can come up with two numbers. I had over 12,000 students in my life, and among those, over 500 people who earned a real Ph.D.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So obviously, you're a damn good professor, and I appreciate you doing the work that you're doing.
Thanks a lot for your kind words.
Hey,
even professors are happy to hear kind words.
Absolutely. The name is Mihai Nadin, and he wrote the book, Are You Stupid? I urge you to go out there and get it. I take it, is it available on Amazon?
It is available on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, and it is also available as an e-book for those who are reading now books on the various tablets that are available all over.
Is there a website for people to find you at?
The website for the book itself is www.areyoustupidoneWord.us, where you get all the information about the book. And if you want to learn more about myself, www.nadin.ws.
Awesome. Sir, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to tell you something. You're a true patriot, and we appreciate it.
I wish you and your listeners the very best.
Awesome. Well, you heard it from him, and I believe him when he says he does wish us the best. This man is going out and fighting the fight, and more Americans need to do just that. I mean, he is, as he said, a canary in a coal mine, and God bless him for the work that he's doing. I'm proud to have a man like that on my show.